X-Pac hits the cage door and crotches himself on the way down, and Jericho wins by basically opening the cage door and crotching X-Pac.
X-Pac was not going to have any kids after this match. I mean, he took too many nut shots that were pretty brutal.
Well, and not to pick on X-Pac, but he tore his ass a couple years later anyway.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Apparently, that was like the second time he did it too. Because that one made the news. At that point, if I'm doing a move that's going to cause me that much pain, I would get rid of the move. I would not be doing the Bronco Buster anymore.
Yeah. It's that was a move that was like, I don't even know why I would even do that if I could. That's just me. That's how I looked at it.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio did it when he was part of the Filthy Animals over in WCW. He took some counters that I don't think I've ever seen X-Pac take, and I feel bad for Ray. So what did you end up rating this match?
A 7. And I was like going to say 7.5. I was like, this 7's pretty fair. It wasn't a long, ongoing match, but for the time frame and the match and the story they did, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I actually gave it a 7 as well. I actually thought you were going to do 6, honestly, but
no, I was you know, I was thinking about the ratings. I'm like, you know what? It wasn't a long ongoing. It was to the point, which I like it. I like things to the point they dragged it out, especially in the cage match.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they did a really good job. So yeah,
cool. Yeah. Now you mentioned this other person from Right to Censor. So the next match was Right to Censor, Val Venus and Stevie Richards versus Billy Gunn and China. This is one of the main things I remember too from the pay-per-view, because when I watch it happen, I'm like, oh yeah. When China goes for the pedigree, which by the way, she actually there's a part to back it up a little bit. There's a part where she grabs Val Venus and rubs him into her chest.
Mm-hmm.
And Jim Ross goes, is that a good thing or a bad thing? And Jerry Lawler goes, well, what do you say to get that done to you? And there's another part where JR kind of had a duh moment, saying, you know, this lady's powerful, but she's also good looking enough to be naked in Playboy. And here Jerry Lawler goes, that's how you get into Playboy. You have to be naked.
There were some comments I heard Lawler say this in this show that I wish I wrote them down, but I had, they were just hilarious.
Yeah. And it's funny because after Jerry says that, you hear JR go, whoa, yeah. Like, oh, you're right. Duh.
Yeah, there's some great comments. As always, by Lawler. He was great.
Yeah.
Especially that time frame.
Yeah, and that time frame is really, really good. The whole China thing, that caught me off guard a couple times. It's like, you guys, this is why I like your dynamic, and I'm glad I picked this pay-per-view. Either way, but China goes for the pedigree. Guerrero rolls in and hits China with the lead pipe that's covered in flowers. All you see is the flowers explode. And then Right to Censor get the win.
Yep.
So, this was really kind of, I don't want to call it a throwaway match because it kind of was. This is really, even though it's good, and I give the performers a lot of credit for it, but this was really just to set up China versus Eddie Guerrero. Yeah,
absolutely. I give it 5.5, 5.5.
I give it 5 myself. Let me rephrase something. If I was just going to rate it purely based on commentary, it would be much, much higher. But given what it was, this is what I think is more accurate. It's the 6. I mean, it was a decent match, and it was kind of a throwaway to just kind of set up China versus Guerrero. But again, if it was just based on commentary, it would be higher.
Yeah. I understand it. Great commentary, what this certainly was. And heck, that's one of the reasons why I also had rated the WWF title cage match we did on our archives for '94 SummerSlam with Brett and Owen, that's one of the things that helped out that match. Is that it was a great match in general, but the commentary helped it out. But that's if you want to hear that.
Yeah, with Jericho, Jerry was just like, "Oh, they're gonna kill Stu Hart."
Yeah, it was between McMahon and everybody else. It was it's a great commentary all around. McMahon and Law was great in that one. Yeah, for y'all that want to hear that 94 SummerSlam retro review, you can go hear that in our archives, all podcast platforms. But anyways, going back to No Mercy, is good commentary in that match. Definitely was.
Yeah, it was, and I'm going back. The SummerSlam review is the episode 6. So to give me an idea.
I couldn't remember what episode number you gave her right there.
Yeah. It's from 96, or the number 6 went from 94. These are literally in chronological order. Either way, yeah, the commentary is great on that one. And Jerry Lawler and JR had a dynamic that you don't really see much anymore between commentators. Shivani and JR do kind of pull it off, but WWE has a very sports appeal that they try to do, where the dynamic isn't really there anymore. It's really, really, really polished. Almost to the point of being fake. I do give credit with NXT with picking up Wade Barrett, because Wade Barrett does add a different aspect to it where it doesn't feel as polished anymore. But on the main shows, there's points where Michael Cole and Corey Graves sound like the same person. So
almost, it's like there's not the chemistry is different, of course, and there's a little more seriousness to it. I actually kind of get more into Rawls with Joe and Braxton, and then Tom Phillips. So getting a little more into that. This past Monday night, and not to get off subject, but there's some comments that Samoa Joe made that was kind of funny, but I kind of like what they do. Joe brings something special to it, but
he brings a different aspect to it, and that's kind of what Wade is doing over on NXT.
Yeah. And y'all will hear us review weekly shows later this week too. But
yes,
anyways.
Well, it wouldn't be this week; it'd be next week because that would go up next Monday.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we're reviewing it this week, but it will go up on next week. It will go up on Monday or Tuesday. Sorry.
Yeah. Yep. So the next thing they have is Triple H and McMahon backstage, which all this really was is to see whether or not basically if McMahon is loyal to Triple H, and all the Kurt thing is just a business relationship, which this storyline could have been a lot better than it was in the past. Part of what nixed it was Triple H, because initially McMahon was supposed to turn on Triple H completely and kind of storyline wise leave him for Kurt Angle, but Triple H kind of went to the creative and goes, "Oh, that wouldn't happen. He's a nerd."
Yeah,
it's a character, dude. Just relax. You can wear your leather all you want around her. That's her thing. But the character can be into the Olympic hero, milk drinking SOB. You know what I mean?
3 eyes.
The 3 eyes, like a Cyclops, but +2.
Did you watch his show? Well, he was on the Broken Skull Ranch.
I haven't watched Kurt Angle's. No,
I watched that. I watched that just recently too. It's actually really good. And so y'all, I ain't plugging the network here, but if y'all ain't watched that, where to find it? The network.
There is several episodes where you plug the network and the price. So
yeah, I know. But this time I have not got my check for the plug. Anyway, but go find it. No.
Right. So next goes into Stone Cold versus Rikishi, and they did a little vignette about it. And when they zoomed in on Rikishi's face, you could definitely see the Usos in his face.
Yeah.
But this one looked like Rikishi was going to walk away because essentially Stone Cold didn't show up. But then after Mick Foley comes out, Stone Cold's music hits and he drives his truck down and just starts beating on him. there's a point where Stone Cold takes JR's hat, and as soon as you do, you hear you don't even see Stone Cold yet on screen. You basically just hear the crowd erupt, and out walks Stone Cold wearing this hat, and JR goes, "He took my hat," and starts beating him with a chair, beating Rikishi with a chair, and JR goes, "He did that for you, JR."
I remember that was hilarious.
Yeah, then they lead into this thing where it looked like Stone Cold was going to run Rikishi down with the truck. He ends up hitting a cop. He gets arrested. I think this is like the 7th time that Stone Cold got arrested on WWE TV, and that's the end of it.
You know what's funny about this is that when I was watching it, I had a moment where I really thought that moment happened on a Monday Night Raw. I thought it did. But
there was a time he got arrested on Monday Night Raw. It was with the Vince McMahon thing where he beat up.
I'm talking about him trying to hit Rikishi. That's what I'm talking about. I thought. Really. I was like, wait a minute, didn't this happen on a Raw, not on a pay per view? But he obviously didn't. But I just really, when I seen it, I'm like, I really thought back that it happened on Raw, but obviously, just I was like, okay.
We would have to watch the TV shows after this because I think he did it as well on the TV show. Because I kind of remember leading into the Triple H thing. I think he got arrested a few times.
Well, yeah, he got arrested a number of times on Raw.
No. I mean, around in between No Mercy and Survivor Series, I think he did a couple more times.
Oh, maybe so. That certain moment, I remember that moment of exactly what they did, but I just said that's not happening on Raw. That's all. But anyways, that was an interesting moment, and to me, it's like I gone too far. I'm like, I don't think he went too far. But I know that's commentary. Yeah. It's like, hey, he tried to, you ran over Austin.
Yep. You got to be careful what you do to a rattlesnake.
That's right.
Now, this was kind of an incomplete match because it ended in no contest. But what would you think of the whole beatdown, or how would you rate possibly the whole beatdown part?
Honestly, I would between the beatdown, it kept me on my feet, and I'd say I guess go for an 8. Honestly. Yeah,
I gave it an 8 as well, but I gave it an 8 because now the beatdown was pretty good. It further developed the story, but you got to end in the fact that Stone Cold took JR's hat.
Yeah, that was an interesting point too. I like that. I was like, you don't take a man's cowboy hat. You don't take a person's cowboy hat. So I was like, but I know they're buddies. But yeah, I was like, it's funny for what it was. So I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, because at the point in time, Stone Cold really didn't show the joking side of himself. This was kind of the first time you ever seen it. This is before the whole Kurt Angle playing guitar with Austin having a big cowboy hat and Angle having a tiny one.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's a little tip though: don't take a person's cowboy hat. I've had that before. They don't end off very good note. But this was it's a good one. Great.
I can fully admit that you will not see me wearing a cowboy hat, not only because I don't wear cowboy hats, but also hats are really hard to get that fit me.
I've never had a concern with that with you. And you were there when I bought my probably fourth cowboy hat. So was it like 2 years? How long ago it was? And
it was about 2 years ago. No, no, it would have been 2019.
Yeah, it was 2019. Yeah, I was at singing the Strawberry Festival when I said, point out the belt buckles. I need a new belt buckle, and you pointed the right place. And I was like, I never had any concern with you taking my cowboy.
Last time I wore a cowboy hat, I was probably about 10 years old.
I cannot picture that. I seen your brother recently had a cowboy hat on, but it's like not you.
Yeah, well, remind me later. I'll send you the picture. I'm wearing a Tasmanian double pajamas at the same time.
All right.
I went through a very, very brief cowboy / country phase. So
I cannot even. You never mentioned that to me, I don't think. And I could not even picture that. Not even if I tried.
No.
You're the heavy metal, everything else. But anyway.
Either way. The very next thing, we got William Regal versus Naked Minion.
I don't remember it.
Go ahead. What were you going to say about
I don't remember his name being Nick. I mean, I remember Midian. by far. I just can't recall him being named Naked Midian. And I seen, I was like, I just can't recall it.
Yeah. So, which the commentary on this one was pretty good.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
I didn't